What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. I'm over here trying to figure out if y'all can even hear me. Yeah, there we go. Lately, StreamYard been acting kind of weird, and so I've been coming over here thinking y'all can hear me and you can't hear me. It's Sunday fun day, y'all. How was everybody's Sunday? It's been quite the weekend. I don't know about y'all, but it's been quite the weekend. Hey everybody, we over here to get into Bell Collective. It's season 7, episode 3. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I hope y'all had a nice weekend. The weather was, it was nice over here, I suppose. A little rainy yesterday evening, but I don't know why I feel compelled to come over here and talk about the weather. I guess that's a big part of my day. So if y'all new here, expect for us to have a little conversation about whether it's cold or not, because I feel like that affects people's mood. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. We over here at Bell Collective. What did y'all think of this episode? This episode gave me more than I thought it was gonna give me, because we've been spending, this we're just at episode 3. So we can't say what the season is giving. But we'll get to episode 5 and they'll be telling us that's the end of the season. So I don't know how many episodes they're having this season, but we're at episode 3. And the season seems to be about the rift between Latrice and Leticia. These two, between the two of them, there's always a rift. Leticia is usually, beefing with Marie. No, whoever's new, whoever she's feeling intimidated by. She likes to place herself as the mediator in between people and, but keep the mess stirred up. So she stirred up a lot of mess from the beginning with Marie and Latrice, but Marie and Latrice are getting along and I'm here for it. I don't know what it is about Marie Monroe this season, but child, this energy that Marie Monroe is giving, I'm feeling it. So I hope she keep giving. I hope she has opened her eyes to the fact that maybe her bestie over here is the reason why her life is a little bit messy. Now, I'm not going to give it all to Latrice because Marie Monroe was giving as much as, she was good at setting the shit off, but she's in a different place and I'm happy about it. So here we are over here at the birthday party. Why? What's her name? All these new friends. Selena. Why Selena thought it was going to be a good idea to bring these ladies outside so they can fight. Now, we know that when Latrice comes to places, she be bringing a secret crew. And her secret crew seemed to have come from out of the woodworks in the midst of this situation. So they still going at it in the parking lot. And Latrice called Leticia a bitch. So I'm going to go play by play because there was a lot of things said here, Leticia, that didn't make sense to me. But, she usually gets in her confessionals and things come out of her mouth that, we were like, was we at the same place? Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So back last week, we find out that apparently Leticia been reaching out to Latrice's ex-employees. And so, Latrice called her a bitch. Now, when Latrice said, because you did it, bitch, then Leticia then walks in like she was ready to, throw them hands. When somebody step 1, 2, 3 towards you based on something you said, you got to take 2 steps back and then, throw them hands up just in case it's about to go down. That's what it felt like to me. So when I say Leticia walked into this fight, that's what she did. Like she was getting ready to snap this lady's neck because she called her the B word. Let's look at me cleaning it up at this point. I feel like I've said it too many times and maybe I should relax. Anyway, what happened after that were the Bells separated them. And I'm giving the blow by blow because Leticia keeps framing this story as if she was about to get jumped by all these people. Girl. So anyway, and like I get it, Child. Latrice's people showed up. You don't know what these girls is gonna do because they good for a little throwdown. But it seems to me like last fight that we had over here was when your husband pulled up on Big Willie. Now here you come bull riding yourself out into the middle of these ladies. Like, the lady did call you out your name and I get it, but like call her name back. But you came in hot. That's all I'm saying. So, don't try to be like, oh my God, these girls tried to jump me. That's not what happened. The Bells separate the two ladies, and by the time Glenn comes outside, because Shantae, our new messy friend, Shantae, you already on my nerves. Can we get less of this? We need to get less of this girl, or we need to go ahead and make her a full-time Belle, because she's here a lot. Amanda, Shantae took your spot. And then, neither one of them is doing anything, worth. Well, Amanda had things going on over there, but nothing that we didn't already know. Don't matter. Here this lady still is. She was down to her vow renewal, crying and, commitment, recommitment. They've been together since high school. Either you're going to do it or you don't. And at this point, nobody believes you're going to do it. So, you keep coming over here talking about it and nobody cares. Not even Marie. She don't want to hear that shit anymore. Glenn comes outside because Shantae went and told him, it's going down outside. And then, they were already separated. We got two different conversations. You know what I'm saying? They come back together. Letitia comes strutting herself right back over there, to tell Latrice that she's never contacted any of her employees. And she pulls out a phone to show a full-on conversation between her and Josh, which says, then you were talking to my former employees. Disgruntled at that. So, the argument resumes because they keep, Latrice is saying she's a liar and she's over here trying to, show her receipts that ain't receipting as far as I'm concerned. First of all, you can delete anything you want out of a conversation. So you coming over here with these receipts, and why do you have so readily on your phone a conversation between you and Josh? What are you saving it for? Just in case you need ammunition? Like, that's not something regular people really don't move like that. I go through my phone and be like, conversation over, delete that. I don't need all this mess in here that I'm not, with somebody that I had a conversation with years ago. What are we talking about here? Latrice calls Josh and he basically confirms, that Letitia reached out to him. So she's saying he reached out to her. He's saying, I did not reach out to you. You called my phone. When Letitia starts doing all that huffing and puffing, it makes me feel like she's the one that's guilty. And then Glenn swoops in. Let me pull up this picture because the way this lady was over here caping for this man that she claimed that she's not. Oh, man, it didn't go through. Oh, yeah, it did. Let me see. Okay. The way that she swooped in, with this man, just like at the 90s Love Jones party, she, played like she wasn't going to say, I love you. And then, she, are you okay? He says she's confusing and she is. So in the midst of all this, he comes in, he swoops her away. That's how she described it, from the hyenas, because they were coming for her. When I saw her myself walk into that conversation, with the mess. But here he comes, her knight in shining armor. This is the reason. This right here is the reason. This is the reason why I married this man, because no matter what we're going through, I know he's got my back. What? Glenn has got your back? Glenn is trying to sabotage your independency? But you want to be over here mad because he came over here to what? Pull you away from some ladies that you had already walked away from, but then you walk back over there again. And now you want to say you were getting jumped. I just wish, y'all were arguing. You and Treese were going back and forth. And you and Treese have done a bunch of bullshit behind backs of people that y'all have, tried to manipulate. And what happens is when y'all get mad at each other, Latrice comes and says the things that you've done without, including herself. Now, I kept her secret and I knew this is what she was doing to you behind your back. Maybe trying to get, some women to get in your man's DMs or whatever. This is how they operate. So her sitting over here acting like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is all this hate coming from Latrice. We were just friends before. Girl, stop. You and Latrice is messy, and it was bound to happen. Y'all ganged up on Aisha. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. Honestly, Latrice, I don't even know why you did that. So why? Because Willie was clowning your husband that we don't understand because we don't understand him. So, but that was Glenn that, was over there starting shit. So here we are. Anyway, Latrice said, this cracked me up. That's why I wrote it down. Latrice said, I need an MFer to get a real business so you could understand how business works. Exactly, Leticia. She called you out because what we are doing is sitting up here realizing you do not have business. Latrice and Cliff have several businesses. You and Glenn, this is your business to sit over here and pretend. I want to be a banquet lady. I want to have power brunches. I want to empower women. I'm booked and busy and booked. I have an enterprise with an office, but I don't have a bank account. Girl, stop. The more you run your mouth, like, it don't make sense. It does not make sense. And so, yeah, her rebuttal was, what did she say in return? She said that, Latrice, you tell everybody's business. I know her business. And I believe Latrice be telling everybody business. So there you go. Both of y'all are like, it's a mad day. We getting all the tea. All the outsiders need to pay attention. And then when I say outsiders, I mean other Bells, because then other outsiders start chiming in, and that's when, it was doing too much. But Carrie shut it down. Like nothing really ever happened after that. Some outsiders chimed in, and Glenn told her, like, hey, lady, you're not part of the show. So I'm going to need you back off that mic just a little bit. And then Carrie separated them, and she was like, listen, whatever text messages you got, it's not working right now. Nobody really wants to hear it. You pulling out, your text messages and things, and you're only making it worse. So we will need you to step on over to the side and let this shit rest because it ain't going to get handled tonight. That's pretty much, Carrie directing the situation. She's not used to this foolishness. She don't be down here ghetto like that. She's not from Jackson. She from the coast. I'm just telling you, that's what she said. Like I said, we know why. Where is Selena? You the one that brought these girls out here. Oh, she's somewhere. How you gonna be the only one in a red dress and we still can't see you, girl, outside the shot? Anyway, I feel like that was the basis of their friendship. They were plotting and planning and planning and plotting. This was bound to happen. And what's happening too is Leticia really doesn't have a business. So as much as Latrice is messy, she got real shit going on over there, and clearly a gang of people that want to follow behind her. You had Marie Monroe, and she didn't even do that. And when it was all said and done, Carrie switched them off, and they went and back inside to party. And Tisha drove off. Carrie made it a point to say, oh my goodness, like Marie Monroe's not over here like running behind her bestie. She's running in the opposite direction. That's what happened. But I mean, Marie was like not about to get in the middle of that shit. She watched it go down, and she also know how her friend operates, I believe. Now she went over there trying to get an understanding. Now what happened? I'm not going to imitate Marie because I ain't going to be able to do it. But the way she talks cracks me up. She trying to get an understanding. Like, why do you think that she had spoke to your employees? Like, what reason would she have to do that? And especially if they're disgruntled, if they're already disgruntled. And I'm like, yes, if they're disgruntled, Marie, they gonna run their mouth. And I feel like Josh, who's also messy, was very much willing to entertain the conversation. But I think he really values his relationship with Latrice still. So there's only so much he gonna do. And I definitely believe that what's her name? Leticia reached out to him at the end of the reunion last time. She said she was coming for y'all, Bells. Anybody can get it. That's what she was talking all big down to that couch last season when it was over. Now we seeing she was trying, and for as far as I'm concerned, it backfired. And like I said, these ladies was like, okay, let's go back to the party. So Leticia is out here on this island by herself with Glenn because none of these people are interested in this fight that's going on right now. I feel like they're used to it. They're like, not again. We don't want to do it. And I also feel like Marie probably feels how the stress, like her and Latrice are not friends for real. So she don't really have to deal with Latrice in any real way. Now, whatever Latrice and Leticia had going on, they got to deal with that. So she's pretty much like, I'm going where the people going. You go home with Glenn because that's what you're gonna do. So yeah, that's how that ended. The party went on without their bestie. Now, Latrice is sitting at home pretending like she's working. She talking to Glenn like, no, she's on the phone talking with her people, her team. And so they show her sitting on the sofa with the computer in her lap, and the team is like, you know, I don't know what they're saying. I just hear her saying a lot of yes, yes, that's right. That's what I mean. Yes, sir. So she's on the phone with her manager, and she's letting him know like she's talked to some people and we need to go ahead and edit that footage because we're going to be doing a what do you call it, something kind of real. She's learned some terms, for entertainment terms. So she get her reel together, so when she's shopping these networks for this talk show, child, Glenn calls in and she just wants to, hey, Glenn, I just want to thank you so much for being my knight in shining armor. All those girls were coming to jump me. It was so scary, but I'm over here booked and busy and doing all my business things. So, okay, I'll talk to you later. They're friends today. Her other friends come over. Marie Monroe comes over, and what's her face? Shantae. Shantae always got a stank face. She's a pretty lady with a stank face. If she would just smile, she's actually giving the same energy that Marie Monroe gave when she first come over here. Tisha has a certain type of friend type. And this one is stank too. I think if she hangs around with people who are outwardly stank, that she could do dirty things behind the scenes, and then it'll seem like, I don't know what happened. We a sisterhood. We are a Belle collective. She could bring them all back together again. Letitia says she's been working for Donald for years, and I'm like, doing what? What has Donald been doing for her? Because she, not telling her how to manage her money or open a bank account. So, that never came up. I guess he don't need to know about her bank account. What is he doing in the entertainment business? He should just be making shit up and then leaving us out here for questions of things that don't even actually exist in real life. I'm tired of her. Do they live together? It's really, really weird. Like how he's like, well, he got to FaceTime girls to make sure she's not over there laid up with Donna, but we'll get to that. Marie comes by to check on Tisha. They sitting at this table, and Tisha pulls out these messages to prove, actually that she was in contact with Josh. And that's probably what Marie was thinking, like, so you were talking to Josh. And then she reads the text messages, and she said that, he was trying to expose Latrice on some things. That's why they were communicating. He was upset because they were no longer filming. We know Cliff had an issue with Josh, and she had to choose her husband. And I'm sure he understands that. But maybe he was a little bit salty because he wasn't allowed to be on the show anymore. And I mean, he's a fabulous queen. So, he was enjoying being on the show. And, he got a little sassy mouth. So I could see where it would be off-putting to someone who, you can't joke with everybody like that. And I'm like, it's 26. So Leticia has been hanging on to these text messages since 2024. That says a lot about her. And like I said, you can delete conversations. And so you only leave in the things that are going to make it seem like he was reaching out to you and y'all were communicating. And what was he trying to expose about Latrice? Child, that Cliff be over there whopping her, what they say, head between the washer and dryer. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. I don't know. It's a legend. We don't know that's what happened. Um, my thing is though, if you had these messages from Josh for 2 years almost, and you and Latrice are these great friends. Y'all are great friends that you're over here shedding a tear over because you know, were so hurt by her behavior. Why didn't you tell her, you know what, your friend Josh messaged me? That's what I would have done. See, I would have done that to keep my name out the shit. I don't know what Josh is over here doing, but I would definitely have told Latrice, like, you know what, Josh is over here messaging me. And so you remember this conversation from, 24, and now you're pissed off and you're coming over here, to get vengeance is yours down to the reunion couch. And you reached out to Josh. This is just what I think happened. Because you remember, that he was mad. And then you find out, well, now it's a year later, he ain't mad like he was then. And so whatever he was going to expose, he decided not to. So now y'all are talking on the phone rather than having text communication. That's interesting. Maybe you couldn't get him to say what you wanted him to say on the text because he's like, I'm not doing that. I don't know what this messy lady is up to. And he know how you move too because Latrice told him. So is he mad at Latrice a year later? Probably not as mad as he was. They still contacting each other. They just, not cool like they used to be. I feel like most people with good sense is going to know, yeah, she's going to choose her husband. And until she's not no longer with that man, then I'm going to have to back up. And I think that's what happened. But yeah, girl, why you ain't tell your friend Josh was trying to reach out to you? You held that one. You still holding on to it. So down to the parking lot, you pulling up Josh's text messages. They must have been real close to the top. How do you have so much business? You should have so much text messages that it would have took you a while to remember that you even had that text. But girl, we're stupid and so are you. I ain't stupid. I know you're full of shit. Speaking of messy friends, here comes Shantae. She came in with some flowers for her friend because Marie Monroe, you're about to get out the way. I'm the new best friend now. So I'm getting all this camera time and slow motion videos. You about to get the boot, girl. You ain't no Belle. I'm just saying. She came in and jumped straight at Marie, implying that Marie, I looked up and you was gone. And Marie was like, I was not gone, girl. I was over here telling Latrice to relax and that we shouldn't be fighting like this. That's what I was doing. I was trying to calm the situation. Well, I think it should be us against them. That's so ignorant, Shantae. We are 40-something, damn near 50. We not about to be out in the parking lot dressed in our good clothes with some us against them. We're going to calm the hell down because this is stupid. Talk about text messages from disgruntled employees and stuff. We're supposed to be over here celebrating the lady's birthday. Here you come, ready to, throw blows because she's that friend. Whew. She said she wasn't about to jump. Marie said she wasn't about to jump in the middle of that mess anyway because the Bells turn into some of Latrice's ghetto friends that we don't know what they about. And I'm not about to stick my head in front of any of that they had going on. So I dismissed those from it. She had her knight in shining armor come swoop her out the way. So what are we talking about? And she's like, Leticia did not do that for me when me and Latrice were beefing. And then they show the montage of all the times that Marie and Trice were beefing. And Leticia, ooh, they want to kill me. Leticia was in the middle. It's not like that. She was pretty much defending Latrice. And I don't feel like Marie is defending Latrice. Marie is over there telling Latrice, this is not, Shantae did not, she didn't tell her to do that. You know what I'm saying? She's not talking bad about her behind her back. She's having her back and saying, I don't know. Now the shit look messy. But, until I find out what's, really tea, I'm just going to defend my friend. She said that's not what it was. So back off, Shantae. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're just over here trying to make problems with Marie Monroe. And I think that's not a smart idea. I'm just saying. Leticia said that Marie is holding a grudge and stirring up drama. I don't think she's doing anything, either thing. She pointed out a fact that you didn't have her back when it came to her and Latrice. So I am gonna not have your back, but I'm not finna get in the middle of it. Y'all figure it out. Y'all have a friendship that's different than our friendship, and so go ahead and figure it out without me. And I don't fit stirring up drama. Who stirred up the drama? Not Marie. She didn't say nothing. She was just like, what had happened? It don't take Latrice long to, Marie, her and her friend Shantae teamed up against you. Start some shit. Marie got hood people too. They be down to her house shooting the thing up. So she might don't want to mess with Marie in her real life. Marie, anyway, let me finish here. Oh, here we go. Latrice. So Latrice felt bad because she interrupted the birthday party, with her foolishness. So look at this here. It's Latrice, Tambra, Marie, and Selena. And it was actually a nice little get together. It was a nice little lightweight, away from all of that nonsense. Seems as though it's women over here with actual business. We don't want to sit up here and pretend like we have businesses. Carrie is not there because I don't really think they're feeling Carrie like that. Carrie coming over here from Jackson every now and then, and she's cute to have around a little bit, but I don't see Carrie having any real connections with anyone over here for real. And she keeps coming over here like talking shit about Jackson, like her city is better. And, it's giving I'm better, Carrie. And so that's only going to take you so far. So the only thing probably keeping Carrie out the lion fire is the fact that Latrice and Leticia are beefing. Anyway, they had a little get together. Latrice shares with Marie that she had a blood clot and that whole story and how she didn't take it seriously. And they're like, girl, you could die from that. So you're going to need to take care of yourself. And Marie is like, life is too short. And now that we're talking about this, life is too short for us to be fighting and carrying on with each other. And I'm like, Marie, with her angel wings and her halo over here, wasn't you like down to the couple reunions ago, you and Leticia both about to jump this lady? Speaking of jumping people, they had to back her off somewhere because y'all was coming for her. Because she's jealous. Y'all had a lot of, what they call it, vitriol for this lady. So now you're like, girl, y'all was out there like wild banshees out there. I love it, Marie. Stay here. Stay in this space. She was just trying to get an understanding. We sitting over here trying to figure out what the heck, this conversation with Josh and Leticia. And why are you convinced that Leticia, was behind it? And, for the most part, this is what I got from it. Leticia. That's pretty much where Latrice is with it. They both be up to the same antics. So, they try to convince her, all three of them try to convince her to make amends. And she's like, I don't see it happening. And, it would have to be very surface, but I feel like they just tired of Latrice. Jesus, Leticia. They're tired of her with her fake businesses, and I'm a big boss, busy boss, and they all have real businesses, and they're like, girl, shut up. You over here running around with Glenn. That's it. His ignorant ass. That's your leader. That's why you still stuck, because you picked a leader who don't know how to, stop chasing his own damn ding-a-ling around. Carrie's family, we guess we got to have a moment with Carrie. So her mama came over there with food because she don't be cooking. She be out working all the time. And them kids be eating our food all the time. So she wanted to bring some home cooking. And I don't think anybody's going to be mad at their mother bringing by some food to the house. Her husband was over there standing in line because he's like, yeah, I ain't had no home cooking in a while. Either that or she can't cook. She's a restaurateur, so I'm going to go ahead and, give her the benefit of the doubt. She tells them about the Bells and how ghetto they are, and they don't know her, but they thought they were friends. And I understand where they're coming from, because in most scenarios, women at this age, you know what I'm saying, with real businesses and things to lose, they don't operate like that. If somebody calls me up to go to a birthday party or a dinner party or brunch or whatever, I'm not going to anticipate that somebody over there is about to be, snatching wigs and weaves and things off. That's just really, you outgrow that, or you should at some point. So, yeah, her parents are like, yeah, you don't probably need to be around them ghetto people. And she tells her, about how the restaurant is not doing well. Her mother's like, sell it. And Carrie's in her emotions because, I understand she's attached to her business. She had dreams for, what she wanted over there. But it seems to me like Carrie didn't do enough investigating or understanding the culture over there. She tried to take her culture over there and they didn't want it. And don't make the same mistake in Jackson if that's your plan, like you over here planning on doing business in Jackson. You should learn to you're going to have to appreciate the culture. If you don't appreciate the culture, then you should probably not be there. That doesn't make sense. I'm just going to go over here and drop some shit over here in Jackson and hope it works. You need to, I feel like, appreciate the people around you, not necessarily Leticia and, the Bells. That's just one, facet. What is it like over there? What, and, because Cliff and Latrice got a functioning business. That got the juke joint. I don't think that's what you want. So, yeah, Carrie, her mama said sell it. And she's holding on to it, but she probably should just sell it because, you get to the point where you start losing money and it doesn't make sense. She already has other successful restaurants. So relax, lady. And if you're so tired, let that go. Like, you can't have it both ways. Your husband, he's not into it. He's retired. He's not about to go, hard. And restaurant life is you're there all day, in the morning until evening. And, if you have a partner that's helping, that's one thing where y'all can tag team, but he don't want no parts of it. But it seemed like he helped taking care of the kids or whatever. So, girl, you walked yourself into this situation. This was probably one of my favorite scenes. Leticia goes out with her mom. They go to paint ceramics. She says she's been dealing with having rheumatoid arthritis and so she's dealing with things that you getting shots and all of that stuff. Take care of yourself, Tisha's mama, because the healthcare is out here is ass. And so I don't know what her mama does, but God bless that situation. Everybody try to eat right. Try to take care of yourself because we don't know what we're doing. I'm not going to talk about that over here, but coffee talk is probably going to be very interesting in the morning. Anyway, Tisha says she's always out of town. She hasn't seen her mother. She's always working and traveling. And I was like, yes, out of town is traveling, Tisha. That's right there. She didn't even have to say that because there she is lying again. And every time she says stuff like that, we look at her crazy. She could have just said, I've been busy and I haven't had time to spend with my mother. So we just wanted to have some quality time. Traveling to do what? Going where? Girl, stop saying like that. You've been working at the Bell's Husband thing and having a full-time job and a child that you need to take care of and a husband that you got to chase around and see what, whether he's cheating or who he's cheating with. Because I'm sure there's a lot of that too. We just don't see it. We only see his version of it. I don't know. Maybe she'd be glad to be rid of his ass for a little while because he's aggy. She says she's on a journey to financial independency. We have seen Tisha with office buildings, Chanel bags, fancy high-end cars, BMW, Porsche, whatever she be driving around there. She be walking around in tight clothes and, no pants on, pantyhose or leggings that you can see through because they too small. Talk shows and banquets and brunches and all shit. We're really, 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 really doing good. Like every time we see Leticia, she's telling us how she's booked and busy and handling business and enterprise. And we're having a trunk company, which that never was a thing. And we're going to be selling plates and dishes. And I'm not making this shit up. I'm saying this is what she said she was doing. But then when it's go to the website to see the dishes, it's a plate and you can't buy none. Or, now we're on talk show shit. So you've been on this journey of financial independency and you've had all these businesses. It doesn't make sense. So were you doing all of that, financing that stuff all through Glenn? You got your mama to put you on her credit card. when you could have just got a secure credit card, girl, in your own name if you're trying to build independency. That doesn't work. If you're on your mother's credit card, that doesn't really, I mean, maybe it gives points for her. I don't know. But I feel like, there's ways to get it, and you were doing it without having things in your name because your husband doesn't want that. And that's a problem. And I mean, I guess she's realizing, but what are you going to do about it, child? Um, her mother said she told Tisha when she got married that she needs to have her own bank account. And Tisha said, Glenn wasn't going for that. And I'll be damned if I walk down the aisle with somebody. We can have a joint bank account where we handle household finances and such, but I'm going to have my own bank account as one. I hate it even that it's put that way. It's not as one. It's two individuals building together. That's, in real life. And if people like you can't be one. You just cannot. You came out of the cooch by your damn self, and just like he did. That's control. That's what that is. That means you can't do anything without him. That means he can be out in the streets doing whatever the hell he wants to do, and you can't do nothing about it because he holds all the coins and the power. Things are in his name, I guess. Because if you going over your mama's house, child. And I mean, I don't fully feel like they own their home the way they be moving around. I think, they probably renting it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hell, I'm renting my home, but I'm not walking around here acting like I'm an enterprise either. Tisha said, married Black women sacrifice for their husbands. They put their dreams on hold to be perfect for them. And I'm like, what married Black women are you talking about? Or married women in general. Like, why are you putting that on Black women? I hate it when they do that. Like, what was that supposed to be about? And, the married women that I know have their own careers. And I'm sure their own bank accounts and all of that stuff. The married women I know have their own careers. And their husbands have careers. Some of them probably earn their husbands, to be honest. But I don't know what sacrifice, giving up your dreams type bullshit you over here talking. That's a different kind of relationship. And you started it that way. You see, your mama told you to get an account. You said, no, he ain't going to have it. Instead of you doing it anyway, because what was going to happen? What was going to happen? You're like, no, I'm going to have my own, or I'm not going to marry you. Was he not going to marry you? Probably he was. Because, I mean, Glenn know what he got. If these Tishas ain't the same damn person over here running around talking about how they want to be their own woman, y'all do not need to be friends, because nobody is going to make any kind of sense over there in that situation. Y'all just going to be cute and walk around, pretending to have businesses. She said if she had her own bank account and independency, her husband was going to be uncomfortable. So she chose peace. And I'm like, whose peace did you choose? You chose Glenn's peace, because you are not at peace. You over here miserable. Clearly. Y'all walking around the house not really in your best space. She got to preface everything with that. Everything with me and Glenn is not like how it's supposed to be. When has it ever been? When has it ever been? We've been here for 7 seasons, and I don't remember a time. I remember maybe I played like a little bit like y'all was getting along, but it was after he effed up. And you was over here taking paternity tests for 9-year-olds. Jesus. Her mother hates Glenn. It's obvious. She said, did you want to go to the recommitment ceremony? Her mother was like, no. But if I would have said something and you would have been over here talking about, I don't know what would have happened if we would have tried it. So she was like, I'll let you go ahead and do what you got to do. And Tisha said, her mama don't play. She's been married 6 times. When she ready to go, she ready to go. I was like, that's also a problem. Why your mama keep getting married? Mama, why you keep getting married? That's not a flex, saying that she, when she's time to go. Maybe she shouldn't walk all the way in. What is the whole thing with getting married? Oh, both of y'all got a problem. Why is marriage so important? I don't understand. I don't understand. Why is marriage so important that you have to do it 6 times? You could have just been by yourself and had 6 boyfriends. Not all at the same time, but you know what I mean. If you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just gonna be like, nope, he can be out, then don't marry them. Benefits is the same, child. Um, Tisha says she's keeping Glenn out of her professional life. It's about time. Glenn about to be the head belle. Do y'all hold things that Glenn gonna be standing in the front of you by season 9, child. You keep on letting him play in your face. She said he demands she FaceTimes him when she doesn't answer. Yes, because that's what cheaters do. Cheaters think from a perspective of, I've been out here getting around, she's bound to gonna get me back. So when you're over here trying to be perfect and do everything that he needs you to do, and it still doesn't matter because he's over here not trusting you because he knows he ain't shit. That's what that is. Just more control. You can't have a bank account. So now, if you're, God forbid, doing something and you just don't freaking want to be bothered with anyone, you got to FaceTime him to make him feel secure that you're not out here trying to get him back because he ain't shit. Ciao. It's so weird. He makes me FaceTime. That's not a flex either. I don't think she was trying to put it like that. Her mama's like, next time he call, have a man in the bed so he can get what he wants. Your mother trying to get you killed, girl. Her mother said if somebody, she got good sense. I don't know why she keeps marrying these men, but she said if somebody loves you, they don't want to hold you back. They want to see you win. Exactly, because if you win, they win. Everybody winning. He's not looking to see her win, not unless he, can be attached to it. They show each other their artwork. That was a waste of time. That artwork was terrible. Neither one of them is artists. That's for damn sure. But her mama said, yeah, when you had enough, I want you to break the plate. Break the plate, child. We'll see. I don't believe it's going to happen, but, it is what it is. Cliff is back, and apparently this girl, Latrice, can't cook. So she called her freaky friend over here that be sleeping and sneaking behind people's back with their husbands to come cook for her man. You're a genius, Latrice. Anyway, how long does it take for powdered potatoes to expire? I've never bought powdered potatoes. I didn't know there was an expiration date. But apparently everything in her house is expired. The butter's expired. The powdered potatoes are expired. What does she do for food? Does she eat out all the time? Because, girl. Anyway, she fed the man the food Anyway, she said he was going to eat these expired potatoes and, he sat up there and ate it like it was good food. So, he don't know no better until now, like we finding out. She downloads him on the fight. His perspective pretty much is Cliff is fighting for his marriage. He's a desperate man right now. But if he's going to be over here arguing with my wife, now I'm not rolling with that. And she says she called the lady a bitch. And he told her that she's too classy to be out here calling people bitch. And I was like, yeah, only you can do that, Cliff. Remember when you were down at the parking lot? It goes down in the parking lot a lot over here. They don't know how to act when they get in the parking lot. They get down to the parking lot, he was snatching her and calling her a bitch. I'm pretty sure that's why her and her friend are no longer friends, because he wasn't really enjoying watching his friend get snatched around by this old man. But that's another subject for another day. Child, these two. He came in the house, Glenn and Letitia. He came in the house with some pizza. Oh, hey. They haven't talked to each other. It's nighttime. He's been driving around smoking one with one of his other dumb friends, and they've come up with this gaslighting, bamboozly story for this lady. This man came in, sat down with a plate of pizza for himself. What did you get? Pizza, my favorite. And he sat down and he had like half the pizza, it seemed like, on his plate. I'm like, dang, you ain't gonna make her one? No, that's not what men do. That's women's business. Um, so Glenn feels away because she is not including him in the talk show conversation. He hasn't heard nothing about that. And he wants to be at the meetings and the focus groups because, like, what do you think? I don't know how to have these conversations. I think he's trying to do some type of Jedi mind trick on the lady. Don't seem like it works, really. He said he wants them to build together, and what she's doing is like trying to build separately for herself alone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The lady is trying to make moves, have a career. Do she to be down to the steamboat with you? She does not. You don't need to be at her work for y'all to build together. Build together is I have mine over here, you have yours over here, and maybe we can find something to do like in the middle, but she has to have her own. Otherwise, she ain't built a shit if she's not like independency. That's the word she likes to use. Um, Yeah, he said, what did he say? Glenn said he is more than just a dick and a paycheck. No, I think that's basically what you are, and you better keep using it because if you don't, like you start to lose your power, and she start to gain hers, and she says she don't want it, so that's a problem. She said what did he say? He said that he feels like Tisha's working on herself because she doesn't trust him and she would be a fool to trust you. So that part is good. And she wants to be set up to leave if he messes up again. Bingo. You got it all figured out. I don't understand. Like, what's the problem? What the kids say? 6, 7. I'm confused. Yes. And maybe, she wants to not only that, she felt compelled to tell him that was the truth. I would have kept that to myself, but hey, neither one of these people are really bright. Maybe, just maybe, her life is not wrapped around you 100%. Maybe there's things out here that she's on this show. Like, we're not gonna act like she's not over here. So there are opportunities I'm sure that this lady is getting. She just don't have no independency. So maybe she wants to build up herself. Is her having confidence going to cause you a problem? This is why she's so messy. She's like one of them catfish people because she's sitting in that house with nothing to do besides go pick that kid up from school. That's all we ever, she walks around and has fake meetings, but that's just for the show. I mean, in her real life, I feel like she goes to the regular job, she picks the kid up, she comes home, she cooks dinner or whatever, and this nigga don't be at home. And when he comes home, he's expecting her to, serve him because he's some type of king in his head. And hers, apparently, she over here making all these sacrifices for, I guess, girl. He said that her journey of independency, it don't work for him. So, we're going to have to figure this thing out because whatever you're trying to do, it's not working for me. You over here with Donald, and I feel like you're over here. He's supposed to be an investor. Donald ain't over here did shit. He is supposed to be an investor, and I feel like you leaning on another man, and I don't like that. And I know how men like him move, and I'm like, how do they move? Because they've been knowing each other for years, for 10 years, and he ain't moved on nothing before that. I feel like he's trying to imply, because he says something like, sooner or later, a man like that is going to want payment. And I don't mean in percentages. He's trying to imply that Donald is over here trying to get the coochie. And I'm questioning it whether he even like Cootie Cat. I'm not trying to out nobody or nothing, but was it just me? I was getting the vibe that, Donald was playing for the other team. Ciao. Now, his advice might be a threat to Glenn. He might be telling her if she's over here confiding in her, he might be giving her good sense advice. That much you have to worry about. I'm not saying that. If the man might be interested in her, she's a good looking lady, but I don't think that's your problem. And I don't think you're worried about him. You're just using that. That's more manipulation. She said, she wants to take some money out of their account because she wants to secure a loan. She's been doing all this research. And again, you over here with all these businesses and you're just discovering about a secured loan. Um, she tells, oh, out the blue, like, basically she's telling him, like, I need to focus on me. I've been, researching, I'm trying to build my business, and whatever you have a problem with, I'm moving forward. So I can appreciate that she's stay dug in, girl. Don't give up just because he over here having a little hissy fit. And if he go, let him go and go, because then you have a favor. He's out and you can go ahead and really focus on what it is you're trying to do. You're never going to be able to do it with him because he's not changing. Y'all been together for umpteen years. So I now out the blue, he hates your independence. He needs to be in complete control. And I don't think he's gonna let go. She says she's decided she wants to be celibate. So, Mr. I don't want to be a dick in a paycheck. Take the dick out of the scenario because she doesn't want it. That's when oh my goodness, he threw his hands up. He's gonna be worse now. He talking about you don't want to F your husband. Because I feel like with a man like Glenn, he can't fathom that she just need to focus on herself. In his mind, if you don't want me, then it must be somebody else, even if it's Mr. Donald. And so for them, like, and when I say them, men like Glenn, the idea that you would want to focus on yourself doesn't make sense. Either I'm getting the cootie cat or you giving it to somebody else. When in reality, women are like, I don't want to hear no niggas talk, period. I don't want to hear nobody tell me I'm pretty. I don't want to hear nobody saying shit. None of y'all. The cat is cut off. It's celibate. But because he can't keep his little pitty wee inside his pants, he can't fathom that because he knows he would never, he been getting outside cooch this whole time. So that's the only way his mind thinks. Anyway, he got up and stormed out because, he's not doing that. He can't, like I said, imagine having to do something like that. And then as soon as he walks out the door, she's blowing up his phone. Girl, you should have let him ride off. Because where is he going? Over to Amanda's house? I don't know if Amanda want to be bothered with him anymore. Anyway, that's how that episode ended. To be continued. We'll see. She'll be asking him, is he all right next time we see her? Next week, Tambra's father has a stroke, so we don't know. I don't know what happens. People recover from stroke, so I guess we'll get at least Tambra's giving up some story. That's a sad story, but she's usually so closed off with what's going on in her real life. Carrie wants the Bells to do therapy with a relationship expert, and so we see them howling and screaming at each other. So yes, some of the Bells need to go, or some of the Bells they need to pair up different. Apparently, as long as Letitia and Latrice are not in the same room, then Leticia can pretend to be a boss and a big bad bitch. Anyway, that's it. Y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the morning for some coffee talk. And I guess I'm gonna go catch this reunion, Potomac. Oh, thank God it's over. I don't know how I'm coming to y'all with that one. Depends on I'm trying to schedule some things. So I'll let y'all know tomorrow what that's gonna be like. Bye y'all. That's it. That's all I got.